Hey guys, it's Cole here, back with another video. Today I got something a little different for you. Instead of a tutorial video, I'm going to be doing a showcase here on all these hidden staircases you can see behind me. Now if you're wondering why a showcase instead of a tutorial like usual, well, I ask you to take another look at my upload schedule. It's not very consistent or fast. And of these staircases, there's probably 7 that I would consider doing a tutorial on, and I don't think you guys want to see me do hidden staircase tutorials for the next 6 to 9 months. Now, there's one other thing I want to touch on before we get into the showcase. As of right now, at the time of recording, there are now 65 of you subscribed to me, so thank you to each one of you who is. And I got a question for you. When we do hit 100 subscribers, what would you like to see in a 100 subscriber special type video? My current idea is to build a giant missile that has 100 blocks of TNT on it, and then continue that tradition with every major milestone I hit until it eventually crashes my PC and we can no longer do that. But any ideas that you guys have that you would want to see, let me know in the comments, and if I like it, I'll consider adding that to the video as well. So without further ado, let's get into the showcase here. So I'm going to go through these one at a time, kind of highlighting the main differences, what I like and dislike about each one, and I'm going to be going through them in the order that I either designed them or built them on the server here. So we'll start out with this one here. This here is a slightly modified design of a design from Tomco. I took his design and then slightly modified it, making it a little bit cheaper, mostly cutting down on the number of repeaters. Now, what I don't like about this, first of all, is it's lever activated, which anything that is lever activated can be easily made to be button activated by adding in a T flip-flop. Now, me personally though, I prefer to have the T flip-flop be built right into the design. And if you're wondering why I like buttons versus levers, if you're not sure why, that's because, well, anything that's lever activated can only be opened and closed from one side, versus with buttons, you could put a button on each side and you can open and close it from either side then, because these are basically doors. And I don't know about you, but I don't like to be locked in my own basement by my friends, which they definitely do that to me, but what are friends if they wouldn't, right? So from there I went and built these two. Now these two I've done a video on, which these are just both slightly more modified versions of the one that came before it. So here, fix the button problem, though it still has this kink in the staircase, which is another thing that I prefer to not have in my hidden staircases. But you know, if this was my only option, you know, I'm obviously going to go with this. And then from there though, I fixed that problem with this design here. So this is everything that I personally look for in a staircase, being continuous and button activated. Now from here, I actually went and designed these. So you might have seen these 4 in the background of the video I did on this one right here, but I actually designed those afterwards. I just recorded the video after designing those. So this is my first 2 wide design right here. This one I forget how long I spent on this, but this is my first ever attempt actually at a 2 wide, and for a while I thought I wasn't going to be able to get this any smaller, but then I eventually did manage to make this size here that you see in my latest video. But then before recording that video, after making it this small, it had me wondering if I could make the single wide designs any smaller, and so I got to work on that before recording the video on that. Now the main thing here is I wanted to get rid of this line of blocks here. I wanted to, you know, I wasn't too worried about making them any smaller in the vertical dimension. I wanted to make them smaller horizontally, even if it meant making them taller. And so my first attempt right here we got this new piston layout that I tried, using this piston here with this redstone block to activate and deactivate this piston. Because you see, whenever this piston is deactivated, these three here have to be active, and vice versa, of course. And now this does unfortunately have a lever for activation and a kink in it, but you know, for the first attempt I wasn't worried about, you know, hitting all the boxes, you know, just wanted it to function. So then from there, before actually tackling either of those issues, I decided instead I want to try and make it smaller, make it be the same height as that one over there. And I would manage to do that. Now unfortunately we do have a target block right there, which that kind of sucks, you know, because like I don't mind having exposed pistons in my hidden staircases. That does upset me a little bit, but that I can live with, you know, because at least it's not like there's a hole in the design somewhere, which, you know, that I could definitely not live with, but this is okay. There is, however, the issue of snowballs and arrows. When you shoot that, activates it a little bit and breaks it. Luckily, you just flip it on and off quick, and that fixes it. And sometimes with the arrows, it actually doesn't break it. It'll turn it on temporarily, but then it'll actually all open back up. However, snowballs 100% of the time do break that staircase. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, this is the smallest that I think you can get one of these while still using stair blocks. There are some staircases that use just use solid blocks of the floor, and then they just pull them down like this, and then so your staircase is just solid blocks and you have to jump up, which I will never personally build one of those because I prefer my stairs to actually have stairs. But yeah, no shame on you if you do. They are very nice and compact and cheap. But just me personally, I'll never build one of those. But anyway, so after then completing this design, I said, well, let's make this design one block taller and throw in a T flip-flop. So then we solved the lever issue and we got a button powering it, because then it'll still be the same size as that, but button powered. And I managed to make this, which also as a bonus ended up not needing the target block anymore. So my first design kind of useless now, but that's part of, you know, it's part of the design process. So then from there, the only thing left to do was to make it a continuous staircase and not have that kink in it. And so I managed to make this one here, which has a very different opening from these, which all of these actually have a very nice opening. It's the same opening on each one of these three, but very nice opening. I really like them. You know, opening on this one, I still really like it. I think it's cool, especially at the end of the opening. These two blocks get pulled away from each other at the exact same time, you'll see here. I don't know, I just think that's cool, you know. But then on the closing is also really nice. Now, you see it was almost perfectly in sync there. This one was a little bit behind. Sometimes it is perfectly in sync, but you know, this is bug rock and consistency is not something we get with this version of Minecraft. And this one has some cool stuff going on, especially like with this piston here. You'll see it's actually not powered right now, and all that one does is it just gets a quick pulse on and off each time, and to move this block in and out of the way. It's a pretty neat little design. This one is not cheap though, unfortunately. I mean, there's two observers there, you can see. So it's an expensive design, but it's pretty nice and it's fairly compact. It's got a good opening and closing animation. And that brings us to this one over here. So now this one is not my design. This is by a YouTuber known as MCRS. And this is a very good design. It's very compact, button powered, and it's also continuous. You know, like everything that I look for in a staircase. Now, the animation, not ideal, but I got it here because these are like the same exact size. You know, technically this one is one block taller than this one, which is unfortunate because you technically have to count the blocks that hold up the repeaters and dust in the size, you know, but for the hole that you have to dig, these are actually the same then. But yeah, so if you're looking for a very cheap, very compact, continuous design, this is definitely something you should check out. And I'll try and leave a link to his video in the description. Now from here, I decided I wanted to see if I could make this have an even smaller horizontal footprint. You know, like I wanted to see that's a 6 block wide design. I wanted to try and get it down to 5 blocks wide and still be a continuous staircase and not have that kink. And so after some planning with the piston layout, I managed to come up with this. And what this does is it uses essentially a double piston extender. Though it's not a true double piston extender, which I'll show you why quick. So let me grab a redstone block. Oh, and that's the other downside of this one is there is a well, the only downside I should say, it's got an obsidian there. Now you can see here we have a double piston extender to move this third block up and down, and so it's not a true double piston extender though, and that's because well, it doesn't actually retract everything all the way. So when this first activates, the bottom activates, and then the second one does, pushing your floor block up into the closed position. And then when it goes to open, we don't actually retract this one first. This one retracts before this one is ready to be moved. I think this one and this one actually they turn off at pretty much the exact same time, so this block does not get retracted then. So then we tick this, we give it another pulse quick, pulling that down, but we actually don't power this one more time to pull that block down. That block is left up there, and it is then pulled out of the way, and then we have a stair block that is right there that then gets pushed over top of this one. And then of course that all happens in reverse on the closing sequence. And so you can kind of see that there. It happens really dang fast, but you can see that there kind of. And oh, this actually, part of the reason why I keep that staircase, even though it's not mine, is this right here. So I used to do redstone on PS4 edition, which was basically the exact same as Java. And so I did not know that this redstone dust here is not actually only powering this piston. It actually is. It acts more like this and sends power into all the blocks around it, which is how this piston here gets powered. So that was kind of nice to learn that from him, and because of that, I was actually like, without that, I would not have been able to design this right here. But then from here, since I now had a functioning design, I just raised it one block, threw in a T flip-flop, and now it's button powered. So this one here, I probably will do a tutorial on eventually. It's not going to be the next tutorial. The next tutorial will be the next staircase we look at, but I probably will do a tutorial on this eventually, even though it's not one that most people would want given the cost, you know. But if there's someone out there who needs a one wide staircase and they are limited to a 5 block wide area, then hey, here you go. I got the staircase for you, and I got the cost of this one here. That slime ball is just, the item for the T flip-flop. So if you want that, given the cost of it, let me know. Now this one here, I think is going to be my next video. This here is a seamless hidden staircase, and I'm gonna convert the glass to concrete quick because it's a little bit easier to see than that it is a seamless design. As you can see, no pistons here. This is my first ever attempt at building one of these. I've never actually built one before. The staircase itself is 4 by 5 by 10, though I do have it taken up a 5 by 5 by 10 space right now because I have this redstone here. Well, not that green block, but all this piston and all this stuff here. It's for an optional door that you can put on it. Just kind of. In my opinion, it fits the seamless theme. But I usually leave this with glass on it, because I like being able to see everything working through the glass. I think it's cool. But so this will likely be my next video, because I've only been able to find 2 seamless one-wide designs here on YouTube, and one of them has a kink in it, and another one is continuous like this, but the continuous one doesn't actually have a tutorial for it. It's just a showcase video like this one. So I'm definitely going to do a video on this next, and if you want a preview, here's the cost of the whole thing. I think, well, actually that lime concrete might be wrong. I think I'm missing a few blocks there, because of course I'm not counting all of these with that total, but I think, oh, actually no, that might be right, because I don't have the door included there. The door, if you include the door, there's this, you know, don't quote me on that, that might be wrong, whoops. Yeah, I'm not sure, I think I'm missing a few blocks there, because I don't have any green concrete in there. So anyway, so from there though, I took this design, decided to make, you know, even though I don't like the kink designs, I decided to make one that has a kink in the staircase. And so this one, there's a tutorial for another design out there already. This also does, I built an optional door for this one as well. But I think this might be a little bit cheaper than the other design. I don't know. I haven't actually checked that out completely yet. I think I might use like one less piston and maybe one less observer. But yeah, as you can see, this one is also completely seamless. But yeah, so that is all the staircases. So you know, if you want a video on any of these, just make sure to let me know in the comments. Of course, I am already for sure going to do a video on this one, and that one, especially if someone asks for that one, I'll be doing a video on that for sure. Other than that though, the rest of these I think I'm just gonna leave, because they're all fairly, you know, niche. You know, I might do a video on that one as well. We'll see. But yeah, so thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting that like button, and if you want to see more content like this, consider hitting that subscribe button as well, getting me closer to that big 100 mark, and I'll see you in the next one.